My name is Jack Stumpf, and I welcome this opportunity to explain to you the installation procedures for the secure door vertical bracing system designed to reinforce existing garage doors against hurricane force winds. When your box arrives and you open it, you will have an inner and an outer profile, a floor flange, and a hardware box. The first step is to open the hardware box, lay out the components, and inventory them against the instructions that are contained within the box. Next, assemble the following tools that will be needed for installing the secure door brace: electric drill and extension cord, screwdriver, a crescent or socket wrench set, a 1/2-inch masonry bit, hammer, vacuum cleaner, 5/16 inch socket driver, as well as either scissors or a utility knife. The first step in the installation process is to assemble the U-bolt assembly. It consists of the U-bolt, 2 U-bolt plates, and the 4 nuts. We begin by threading the nut onto the U-bolt, 1 on each side. Then we put on our 2 U-bolt plates, then the last 2 nuts. The completed assembly will look like this, and I've already added the black U-bolt protectors to keep someone from scraping themselves on the end. The second step is to place the U-bolt assembly over the end of the top profile, that is the one with the single track on the side, and then tighten the nuts so that it fits over the end of the profile about 2 inches from the top. Next, we will take the top profile with the U-bolt and put 1 bolt down the track on each side, 1 of the 3/4 inch bolts down each side. Then insert 1 of the 1/2 inch bolts down one side only. Next, we locate the floor flange, 2 of the 1/2 inch bolts, and 2 of the lock nuts with nylon insert. With the heads on the inside, we put the bolts through the holes in the side of the floor flange, then put the nylon inserted lock nuts over the outside of the bolt. At this point, we make them hand tight. Next, we take the bottom profile, the one with 2 tracks on the side, and with the floor flange, we put it over the top so that the bolt heads go down the tracks, inside the tracks on the side. Next, we locate the 6 remaining 3/4 inch bolts. We will put 3 down each side by inserting 2 in the front track and 1 on the back track on both sides. The front track is the track away from the floor flange. The floor flange ear comes out in the back. This will be the front, the side that has no flange, and I'm calling the front. Next, with the remaining 2 1/2 inch bolts, we're going to drop 1 down each side of the track on the bottom profile. On the same side, we put the 1/2 inch on the upper profile. In this case, it'll be on the left side. Then insert the top profile into the bottom profile. Next, we take the T-shaped secure clip. We'll pull the 3 1/2 inch bolts that should be on the same side of the brace together, and we're going to put the top one over, the one on the upper profile, the other 2 over the lower profile, and this is what will keep the brace adjusted at the height that you use the brace for. It's merely a locking mechanism to tighten the brace the proper height. When installing a brace in the center of a door, as is necessary on an 8-foot or 9-foot single car garage door, or to install the third brace on a double door, we must first release the garage door opener from the door by pulling the pin and letting the hockey stick shaped arm swing down. Then we place the top bracket above the door. The center of the bracket must be in line vertically with the hinges that are below it on the door, and the very top of the top bracket should be mounted at the same height as the top of the header. Next, using the 3/16 inch drill bit that's in the kit and your electric drill and a pair of safety glasses, we're going to drill the 3 holes so it can receive the tap cons. After we've drilled our 3 holes, we put our top plate and insert the tap cons into the holes. The next step is to locate the 8 metal brackets with a series of holes that we call deflection brackets. The one where the hole is further away from the others is the one that will go through the hinge. We'll take the 3.5 inch bolt, pass it through the bracket, through the hollow throat of the hinge, put the other deflection bracket on the other side, and secure it with a wing nut. We repeat this step for the other 3 hinges on the door. If you only have 3 hinges total, put the 4th set through a hole you'll drill in the support member on the door. Using the scissors, we cut the piece of vinyl tubing into 8 1/4 inch lengths to use as bushings. These bushings have no structural value, but the brace is narrower than most hinges, so adding the bushings to the 1/4 by 3/4 inch bolts on the side will permit the deflection brackets to be parallel. Next, we take our brace assembly, put the U-bolt over the top bracket, push the base in, flush to the door, as tight to the door as we can get it, but yet still vertical. Then taking the bushings we made, we push them over the 3/4 inch bolts with the threaded ends that are sticking out the side of the brace. After we've done this step, we put the plastic end caps on the end of the deflection brackets so no one scrapes themselves on the sharp edges. The other thing it's important to notice is there's a series of holes. The brace should go as tight to the door as you can get it. You can go tight to a door with no horizontal bracing. In this case, it's fitting behind 2x4s that came from the manufacturer, mounted on the door, or can fit up to horizontal braces that are 5 inches deep. We then use the floor flange as a template to mark where we're going to drill our holes for the drop-in anchors. Using the 3/16 inch drill bit that we use for the tapcon holes in the top bracket, we're going to first make a pilot hole and then follow with our 1/2 inch drill marked to the proper depth of 1 5/8 inches. Next, with our drop-in anchor into the hole, we drive it down in place with our hammer until it seats to the top. And with a set tool, we drive the lead anchor downward. And if you don't have a set tool, there's an extra bolt, 3.5 inch bolt in the kit to set that lead seal, but it is imperative that it be set so that the bolt will seat all the way. Then we place our decal on the door that is a quick reference for setting up and removing the brace, as well as there's a decal that will tell what certification and the manufacturer that we put on the brace. To remove the brace, we unscrew the wing nut and remove the 3.5 inch bolt for each pair of deflection brackets. Then after we remove the 3 floor bolts, we will remove the brace as a unit. Then screw the 4 bolts back into the floor anchors so the anchors do not fill with dirt when the brace is not in use. Finally, put the 3.5 inch bolts back through the deflection brackets and put the wing nut back on so these parts do not get lost.